Let's change some materials now. So to change the material of an object, you would first select the object, of course, and then you will see the settings panel pop up on the right here. So here are the settings, but then you also have the materials for the object, and you will see all of the materials that are applied to that specific cabinet here, for example. So you will see a cabinet carcass material, the cabinet front material, the countertop material, and the hardware material, which in this case is for the sink and for the tab. If I want to change the material, all I would do is click on Overwrite Material here, and then you will see all of these options come up here of specific materials that I can select for that object. So let's say I want to change my concrete countertop into a plywood countertop. And now if you open the plywood tab here, you will see a bunch of different options, and I will grab, let's say, a teak finish, for example. Now I've added this finish to this specific cabinet, but if I want to change it for all cabinets that are in this design, I can actually click on Apply to All, and it will go through every single cabinet and apply it for you. And now let's just keep going by changing the materials of the carcass and the cabinet front. So I'll just click on the back arrow here to go back to the menu, and I will just override these cabinets to be, what do we want to do? Maybe let's do a white design. So I'll just go into my paint colors here, and I'll just select white, and I'll apply that to all. I'll go back here, and then I'll do that for the fronts too. There we go. I'll make that white, and I'll apply to all. So now you can see that my design has changed very, very quickly. If I want to change, let's say, the colors of my exterior, it works the exact same way. So I will just toggle my walls back on so I can see them. And I want to change the materials for this wall here, the side wall. So at the moment, when I'm hovering over it, it looks like I can't actually select the wall, and that's because I've previously disabled this layer. So this is a good tip here. If you can't select it, make sure that the layer is on. So I'll go into my layers here, and I'll make sure that my walls, lofts, and roofs are on. In this case, I only really need the walls, but if I want to change the lofts and roofs later, I can toggle those on as well. There we go. So I'll just click on this wall here, and now you will see the materials pop up here as well. So we have the materials for the cladding or siding, and then we have the materials for the interior, which in this case is just white, and then we also have the colors for the trailer here as well. So let's say I'm just going to change my exterior walls to a, let's see, what do we want to do? Maybe we'll want to make this green here. So we can go through and look at all of my different material options, and I want to grab, what do I want to grab? Maybe a standing seam green cladding, like that. And now I can go in and override all of my other materials again, and I'll just quickly click Apply to All. So it looks like my other materials haven't been applied, but that's because all of my other materials were actually overwritten one by one. And so because of that, they're not going back on the, I guess, overall design. So if you click on this front here, for example, and you go into materials, you will see that this material is still a Nordic Pine vertical. I can actually reset this to the default, and it will then get the underlying default material that I've just applied to all of my walls. And I'll just go through these here, and I'll reset this one, and I will reset this one here as well. Great. So now we have applied the material to my exterior, or at least on the sides, and we can do the same thing for the flashings here. So I could go into my materials and override the material back to a green. So I'll go into my metal cladding, or maybe we'll just go plain metal if we just want to have a kind of a flashing material. I'll apply this to all, but it looks like I've already overwritten all of the sides here. There we go, and we'll just revert those. But yeah, so that's how the applying materials works for the exterior, and of course I can go through and change my entire material palette like that.